Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we're going to be doing something I thought up. What if Deku was ennard from FNAF? So, when Deku was born, he's a pretty normal guy. The only thing different about him is that he has multiple personality disorder, which will come into play later on in the story. But let's say around the age of 4, Inko takes him to the quirk doctor to see what his quirk is. And the doctor tells them, okay, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I don't really have a name for this quirk because it's very weird. Let's put it that way. But basically, what this quirk is, it basically he can produce metal cables from his body, and he has complete control. Like he can basically make them do anything he wants. But he can also manipulate his voice. Basically, he only has to hear a person's voice once, and that can be as far as back as you want it to be, and he can perfectly mimic that person. But let's say the age of, you know what? Let's make it, say around the age of 8. Let's say Inko and Deku are walking down the street, and they turn a corner into an alleyway. And let's say these muggers come up, and they start robbing them. And what they do, let's say one's a little psychotic, and he has a switchblade. And okay, this next part, guys, is gonna be a little PG-13. So if you skip a few seconds ahead if you don't want to hear this, but basically what one of the dudes do, he takes the switchblade and cuts out one of Deku's eyes, and it's gruesome as fuck. Excuse my language, but it is. And if you could say, like Inko calls the ambulance, and they arrive at the hospital. Deku's in there for at least 4 weeks in recovery. And Deku now has this mechanical eye. So basically where the eye socket is, it's all metal right there. And he's got a metal eye. In a prosthetic eye, if you will. But it basically works like a regular eye. And let's say it's the end of middle school. And last day of middle school, teacher walks in with the papers and asks the class, so what do you guys want to be when you grow up, graduate, whatever, what's the same difference? And then he throws the papers up. I know you guys all want to be heroes. And he goes through the list. He's like, this looks like 2 people from our class are trying to participate in the UA entrance exam. And Bakugo's like, 2, and then he reads the list off: Katsuki, Bakugo, and Izuku Midoriya. And some people are like, they're shocked, but not really, because let's say Deku wasn't bullied as much. Like, I'm saying as much because let's say he was bullied for having a robotic eye and having multiple personalities disorder. But they're not that shocked. And let's say after school, Deku walks through the tunnel, and the sludge villain comes up behind him. And let's say the sludge villain actually gets a hold of him. But what Deku does, he produces multiple of these metal cables over from his body. And what they do, they could sort of tear this sludge villain off of Deku and sort of confines him and compresses him into a ball casing. Like, he's in, like, a metal ball made of these cables. Then All Might comes around, and he's like, All Might comes when, like, in the middle of this, like, when Sludge Villain's getting, like, captured in the metal ball. And then he is, like, surprised, like, how this kid can like, take on a villain, like, all by himself. And, like, All Might's, like, and then, Deku sees All Might. Let's say, Deku was, like, is a fanboy, but he doesn't really show it. And he's like, and then he starts, like, fanboying out. He's like, oh my god, it's All Might, the #1 hero. He's like, and then he's like, oh, here, All Might. And he throws in the ball with a Sludge Villain in it. And then All Might's like, what's this? And it's like, oh, the villain's in there. And then All Might's like, hey kid, what's your quirk? And he's like, I'm gonna have to find that out later. And he's like, well, I'm guessing you're going to UA? Or I'm trying to go into UA? I'm like, Deku's like, yeah. And, All Might's like, hey, can I at least get your name? He's like, oh, Zukumdoria. And then All Might's like, and then he jumps off, and he's like, that kid would be a great successor. But then 10 months of training, Deku learns that he can control electronics with these cables. And he also learned a move where he can surround his entire body in these cables, basically making a metal suit. And he's also become very, how do I put, flexible? Is that the word I'm looking for? Yeah, flexible. Like, flexible as in he can crawl through an air vent, like, about half his size. Like, crawl through an air vent with ease. Like, very fast and very quick and very silent. So, entrance exam, let's say Deku doesn't trip, so he doesn't meet Uraraka. And the written exam, that's what it's called. Deku does okay in it. He doesn't score last, but he doesn't score. Let's say he scored third, which is still pretty good, to be honest. And now for the physical exam, I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. So let's say Deku walks up to the gate. And some people are looking at him weird because, he's got a mechanical eye. And then Prison Mike starts the countdown. 3, 2, 1. And then he takes off. And what he does, he scours the place in cables. He leans down and touches the ground, and then these waves of cables start flooding the ground. And he starts taking control of some of these robots, and making them destroy each other. But he's also tearing them apart with the cables, using them like strings and whips and all kinds of other stuff. And then when the zero pointer comes around, he's like, nah, I don't want to fight that. That's a little too much, he's thinking. And he turns around, and then he hears this girl scream. And he looks over, and he sees this girl trapped under some rubble. And he's like, and then his hero instinct kicks in. He's like, I gotta go save her. And then he he runs over very quickly. Like I said, he's very agile. And he uses his cables to tear the rubble off her. And then he summons some cables to pick her up and move her while he deals with the zero pointer. What he does, he shoots a bunch of cables out of his fingers and hands into the leg of the zero pointer, and his sword just yanks them in all directions. and he cuts the 0 pointer into pieces just with that. And then like everyone's in shock because this dude single-handedly rescued a girl at this and at the same time destroyed the 0 pointer in such fashion. And Deku scores. He scores first in the whole exam, like the whole thing written. No, he scores first in the physical exam. He scores third in the written exam. Ooh, I almost screwed that up. and then everyone's like in shock. And what he does, he's like, he kind of just like confines himself in cables, and then like they all like, and then when the cables remove, he's gone. Let's just say he can. I'm giving him a new ability where he can turn his body into cables when he like wants to, or needs to, because I feel like that would be pretty cool, and it makes it easier, and I can use it as a poor excuse of teleportation. But a couple weeks later, he gets his letter, and all my pops up on the screen. He's like, "Well done, young Midoriya," and he basically congratulating him on getting into UA. Then first day of UA, and it's surprising this is going faster than the other series. But first day of UA, he walks in, and then everyone's like looking at him like some people are looking at him a little weird, but not really, because mechanical eye. And let's say the eye color changes every time like another different personality is talking. So like it's green when it's just Deku, and then like the different personalities have their own different eye color. And then he walks in and he just looks over and he just sees Bakugo and Ida yelling at each other because Bakugo's got his feet on the desk. Is the dumbest thing that I've seen. And then Uraraka comes up behind him, and she kind of taps him on the shoulder, and he turns around and he's like, "Oh hey," and then and Uraraka's like, "Oh, thanks for saving me," and basically thanking him for saving her during the entrance exam. And let's say they were too loud, and then Aizawa pops up, and then does his little ranter about, "Well, you're not here to make friends. You're here to be hero. Teach you how to be heroes." And let's cut to the quirk assessment test. I'm pretty sure that's what it's called. Aizawa's test. And Deku. Let's say Deku got first. So Aizawa throws him the ball, and he sort of like wraps his hand and arm up in cables. Basically, he's sort of doing what Muscular did, basically making like a metal robotic arm. And he throws this thing. It gets about 350 kilometers. Kilometers, not meters. Kilometers. And then everyone's like in complete shock. And then he gets first, and he basically does the muscle like robotic augmentation thing for like everything else. The only thing he doesn't score first place in is the ball throw. And let's say do I want to keep going? What time is it? It's I might be able to keep going. You know what? Yeah, you know what? I'm gonna save that for next part. So it's gonna be into this part, guys. Remember, if you remember to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next part. Peace.